Brian is looking for a second date update with a woman he recently went on a date with named Tiffany, and we're going to do our best to help him out. Hello, Brian.
Hi, guys. Thanks for taking my call.
Welcome in. Happy to help.
Yeah.
So how did you meet Tiffany?
Well, I met Tiffany online, and we kind of hit it off, and we decided we were going to go out for lunch.
Okay, we'll meet up in person, see if we feel that same chemistry.
Yes, that's right. So we decided to meet up. We went to this really good taco place, and it was a nice day, so we sat outside. Everything was good. The sun was out. Weather was fine, and we stayed for over an hour. We were having some great conversation, and I was charming her for sure. You know, she thought I was funny. She kept smiling at me the whole time, so, you know, I could just tell she was kind of picking up what I was putting down. So I thought it was all good, and we clicked.
Okay.
Other than that, I really can't think of anything that, you know, might have turned her off or, you know, I feel like everything went well. And afterwards, I walked her to a car. We hugged. We said goodnight. And I told her I'd call her, and she said, that's fine. That's great. And I called, I texted, and haven't heard back from her in a while.
Now, you're not new to dating, right? I mean, you've been out there for a bit.
Yeah, you know, whenever I have time, I get busy with my job and everything, you know.
Yeah, I'm just trying to get a sense of whether or not this has ever happened to you before. I mean, you sound like a relatively charming guy.
You sound very handsome.
There you go, very handsome. Just trying to get a sense of, has anything like this happened to you where a woman who seemed like she was interested ghosted you? Or have you ever been ghosted at all?
Well, yeah, I've had experiences like this before, but I can't put a finger on what it might be.
Well, why don't we take a break? When we come back, we'll call Tiffany and see what she thought of Brian and her date with him coming up. Brian and Tiffany spent some time chatting online before they realized, you know what, this chemistry is so good, let's see if it plays out in real life. And in Brian's mind, it did. She seemed to respond to his charm. He's obviously a very charming guy. Said she was kind of laughing at all of his jokes. Sense of humor is important in a relationship. And at the end of the day, when they were saying goodbye, she seemed open to seeing him again. But when he called her, she ignored him.
Yeah, like I said, everything ended fine. I walked her to her car. I hugged her. We said goodbye. I told her I'd call her. I'd give her a call, and I did. And just haven't heard back.
Okay. Let's call her up, see what her deal is.
Hello?
Hi, is this Tiffany?
It is. Who am I speaking to?
It's Jeff, Jen, Fritch, and Tim at Q102. How are you this morning?
Jeff and Jen? Wow, this is unexpected. I'm great. Thanks for asking.
Very nice. You have a very pleasant speaking voice. Do you work in marketing, or are you a public speaker of some kind? What do you do for a living?
No, I'm a teacher.
Oh, man.
Thank you.
You sound so sweet, like a little kindergarten teacher. Sit down, children.
Yeah. But
I'm going to read you this story.
I'll tell you what, as someone who works in broadcast, like, delivery is very important. I would listen to you.
And that says something, because I've been his radio partner for 24 years, and he rarely listens to me.
I'm sorry, what?
Well, thank you. I wish the kids listened to me. Yeah, I do have kindergartners, ironically. That is the age that I teach, and they are tons of fun, but they're a lot of work, as you can imagine.
Yeah, for sure. Well, if you got a few minutes, we'd love to talk to you about a mutual friend. We spoke to Brian, who you recently had lunch with.
Oh.
I hope that doesn't put you in an awkward position. We're just calling as friends here. If not, that's okay, too. We were just hoping to get some feedback from you as to how you think that lunch date went, because he really left with the impression that you'd be open to seeing him again, and the fact that you're not returning his calls obviously indicates otherwise. So you want to fill us in on what's going on there, if you don't mind?
Well, I'm assuming that this is a second date update, correct?
Correct. Yes.
Okay. Well, this is a little embarrassing, I have to say. I wasn't expecting to hear from you guys. But, the date was kind of gross, to be honest.
Gross?
It was fine initially.
Yeah, did you say gross?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'll start at the beginning, give you a better It ended gross. How about that? The date was fine. I thought he was charming, and he was kind of interesting, definitely attractive. That always helps. And, yeah, I thought there was some potential there. I was actually looking forward to seeing where it went. But as I said, I realized he's kind of gross, you know? And
I don't even. That's
How is he
coming from a
gross? What's
kindergarten
gross?
teacher. You're surrounded by gross. No
I know.
offense.
that
Booger
doesn't mean
eaters.
I wanted in an adult.
Yeah,
They've got an excuse.
good point.
They're supposed to be gross. I don't know that grown
Right.
men are supposed to be gross. So, honestly, I didn't even notice it until we left. And I'm guessing because we were outside and I was sitting far away from him, it never registered. But when he walked me to my car and then he hugged me, he smelled so bad. Like he'd been sweating a lot and he hadn't washed his clothes in weeks. It was disgusting.
Oh.
And then his grossness rubbed off on my clothes, and then I stunk. Right? So I
Yeah.
was like, I gotta go. I actually left work
You
early.
stunk. Like after.
It
Yeah.
rubbed off
He
on
hugged
you.
me.
That's gross.
Yeah. So I left work early. I had my TA take over, and I had to go home. I couldn't take it. So I went home. I took a shower. I changed because the stench, it was just making me nauseous. I don't know what the deal was with this guy, but it was just bad. And I'm not into dirt and smell bads. And, my house is stuck with plug-ins. And it was gross. Yeah.
Wow.
Like I have a sensitive nose,
Yeah.
very sensitive.
As do I.
Sure.
And I think that smells are worse for me than they really might be for other people. Like even in this building, ask Tim, we were walking through the building today and I'm like, something smells in the building. I don't know if it's the disposal or the drain or what I'm like, but
That's got to be hard.
It is.
She's got a keen sense of smell.
I do.
Yeah.
I can tell you when people don't floss their teeth. I'm like,
Yeah.
it smells.
That's me as well. I used to call it a dog nose.
Yes.
And then a friend of mine was like, let's call it pregnancy nose. Not that you're pregnant, but that sounds a little better.
Yeah.
Right?
Well,
And I'm
Tiffany,
like, okay, good point.
before we bring Brian into the conversation, I'm just curious to you. I mean, you sound almost angry at that realization, maybe because you came home smelling what you smelled. Do you think that's something he just isn't aware of? Or, like if this were an HR situation in the workplace, there would be a lot of tiptoeing going on.
Right. Well, you're right. I was offended and a little angry because we're adults and adults know how to wash their clothes and they know about grooming and taking care of themselves, or at least they're supposed to. And just as Jen just said, I have a pretty keen nose as well. And so I could smell him as he was walking towards me. And again, I think I didn't notice it because we were outside, sitting outside initially, but I am a little peeved because what is the deal? Like, why wouldn't you wash your butt? What are we doing here?
I love how you can go from Mary Poppins to like a stern scolding, which I'm getting from you right now on like the
Oh, no,
hygiene
Jeff,
front.
and he's liking it.
Yeah, he
He's
is.
liking it.
All right, well, let's bring Brian into the conversation. Brian, you still with us?
Yeah.
I know it's not what you want to hear, but she's laying it out there. So
I mean,
have you ever been told this before?
maybe not like that, but I don't really know what to say other than I'm a manager at a restaurant, so I spend a lot of time there. And so I guess the smell of lobster and crab fest is on me a lot. That's the only way I can explain that.
And you can't
work a
smell it
lot of
because that's what
hours.
happens usually when you don't smell yourself.
Is that what you were picking up, Tiffany? You were picking up seafood?
Some scampi.
I honestly was not able to detect what it was. If you say it was seafood, then I guess it was. I didn't really pick up on fishy. It just was bad, in my opinion. It more smelled like sweat. But it doesn't matter. If you knew that, then you knew you were going on a date. It seems that you would kind of maybe take care of that before you came. So whatever the smell
Yeah,
was.
no,
it was
I
not.
understand. You know, I think prior to the date, I was kind of running from a CrossFit workout. You know, I
Oh,
just
my
try
God.
to take some time for myself.
CrossFit,
as much as I
I don't
can.
believe a damn thing you're saying.
You went from to CrossFit to a date. And no opportunity for a shower.
Like I said, I work a lot of hours. I can't afford not to take my hours, and so that doesn't leave a lot of time for laundry as well. So I'm just,
There's all kinds of possible explanations here.
Sounds pretty gross to me.
I always ride around with some Axe in the car, just to try
Oh,
to.
Add that to the mix.
This is why you smelled bad. Now I understand.
Right.
It's the Axe
What do you
body spray
know?
that's covering
It's
up
a
all the. I've
combination
been
of
there
all of
before.
it. Yeah.
I used to have a coworker that thought that he was masking the smell of his cigarettes with cologne, and all it does is make you smell like a cologne ashtray. And that is not it's not good.
A friend of mine who is a mom of 2 teenage sons was just telling me how overwhelming their clothes are with Axe body spray when she's doing the laundry. And some days she just has to, I got to wear a mask.
I can imagine.
Oh, no.
That's so funny. Brian, all I can leave you with is just be more conscientious about your showers and making sure, because I know you probably can't smell it in between CrossFit and working all the hours you do, but it seems to be having an impact on people, especially those with a sharp nose.
Yeah, no, I understand. And I guess, I had a good time on the date, and I guess I was just a little nervous, even though I thought it went well, my nerves were kind of going, and I guess it was coming out of my pores. I eat a lot of cheddar biscuits from work. So
I love how good natured he is about it. I'm really sorry you had a bad experience, but, I hope you come back. I'm going to give you some certificates here for some free cheese
There's
biscuits.
20% off your next order.
Yeah, I'd love to.
No, thank
Next
you.
appetizer's on me, guys.
No, thank you.
Oh.
I'm good.
Okay. Well, we appreciate you taking the call anyway, Tiffany. It was lovely talking to you.
It was lovely to talk to you as well, but I'm definitely not interested. Just so we're clear, you can go your way and I can go mine. And I guess thanks for the date. I don't know. Have a good day.
All right. Tiffany's got me checking myself out. I'm trying to make sure. I can't
Oh,
remember
my
if I actually
God.
put deodorant on this morning now.
I don't
I'm
smell
questioning
you.
myself.
I only smell you when you eat all the garlic.
Yeah.
And that's not bad. It's just present.
What about red onions? I had a bunch of red onions on my
No.
salad last night.
That would have
no?
been breath. I don't. You brush your teeth.